Welcome back. Very much the other end of the Land Rover spectrum today. Series 3's over there, looking at me with its nice new transfer gears. And my dad's Range Rover has appeared, looking... well, I'll put it this way. The ground jaw-on's flat. We've got a pop suspension bag on this corner. Easy to diagnose because it sounds like you've got a puncture, got all the air still on the tyre. Compressor's still good. Well, it made it back from wherever, so it's probably worn out. But it's probably also quite good. Did notice at full height, it does keep its height okay. I don't know where the hole is. I imagine it's when we pull it off, we'll see. But as the bag folds over itself, going up and down, that's usually where the rubber perishes, and then that's usually where the air comes out. So at normal ride height, I'm guessing that might be folded in a certain place, it doesn't leak as quickly, but certainly anywhere between sort of ingress, egress height and normal height, it just blows air out. So, first thing we've got to do though, is change the ram palms, which is another thing I suppose in the series of, if you don't know anything about ramps when you buy one, something no one tells you, you need different length arms, not these ones. So, it's all pretty simple. Excuse the mess. Depending on what order I've uploaded these in, if you've watched the Land Rover bits, you'll know it's all over the place. So, standard, off the top of my head, it comes with long arms, long and short. In a lot of cars, you want short. Technical term, all available from Twinbush and Kettering. So put a little bit of weight on the end, pin comes straight up, slide that out. You want to reuse this. Put the arm somewhere accessible. Isn't it? These little screw bits have a flap on one side, which lines up with a welded lug on there. So they can turn like that. Simple as that. When it's back in the air, you can put the little circlets back on that hold the pins from being knocked out. But if I'm honest, with the weight of a car or anything on it, unless you're swinging it with the sledgehammer, you're not going to knock them up by accident. So, anyway, other plus of these lovely Twinbush ramps is, and again, this might be normal, I don't know lots of ramps, but when you go all the way to the bottom, it lifts the sort of locking pins up, and it can swing like that. Again, that might be normal, but and then, normal procedure, swing those under, use the jacking points on the car, loosen your wheel bolts first, I've done that off camera, and away you go. We're also going to see if we can remove those, because my parents are old and need side steps. We're back on the GoPro. We finished charging a multitude of batteries, and we're up in the air. So a very good way to test your fixings for your ramp is use a calibrated weight like a Range Rover. Now, very easy way of telling which spring has gone, if that is what is ailing you indeed. That one has not gone and is much newer than the other. See, there's no crazing, anything like that on the rubber. Because if it's going to do it, it'll do it there. It's also, I don't know, it's OEM. I was looking at the sticker. Ow. The part sticker on that's Delphi. I don't know if that's OEM or what. And you can see on this one, I mean, it's not massively different, but there certainly is a bit more crazing. I mean, there's no air in it, So that's obviously a sign as well. And then the other thing we'll do is just check the airline when we start taking it apart. So, wheel off, clean up all the bolts and things, spray some lubricating fluid on them, of which I've run out of Bulldog plus gas, so it's going to have to be WD-40 again, annoyingly. We can get cracking with taking it apart. I can't remember if I've said in this video or not, that we're going to be just changing the bag, not the strut. And we're only doing this one, not before. Come on. Does anyone else hate these bloody chrome caps on these wheel nuts? Anyway, the reason for all that changing single bits is because I'm sure in the receipts for this car there are some other struts or bags being changed. I assume it was struts because I don't think a garage would bother changing a bag on a strut because I just want to charge a bit more. Right. Doing any job like this, the first thing you want to do is clean your nuts and make sure your GoPro's filming a bit. You can make jobs like this a million times easier. Clean up all the threads of the wire brush, spray some fluid on them, and just trust me, it will make your lives so much easier. And the best bit really is have a cup of tea while you do it. Would you like to have a little look closer? So, just a general look around. Height sensor there. It's all attached, not broken. We're going to have to look at the size of that anti-roll bar. That's a girthy bugger. So we're going to be undoing the drop link on that. We might just get a jack underneath the bottom of that, take the pressure off it and undo that. And then we're going to be undoing these two. This will drop forwards, so I have to hold that, make sure we don't damage the brake line. Then 3 bolts or nuts on top. And then out it should come. And then proceed to smash the hell out of it with a hammer or something or other, like that. So, just want to get... I remember when I first did this garage. I'd like to room. Now I'm using WD-40 because that's all I have. If you have got a brain, don't. I mean, it's all right. Like I said on other videos, it's better than not using anything. Even if you haven't got anything, just put something on there, a bit of grease, engine oil, anything like that really. It will help. Trust me. Because the other thing, we're getting rid of the rubbish. Is that it gives your penetrating oil of choice, you know, a bit of a chance in actually getting to it. Some you have to be some you can be sparing, others I'll just chuck it all on, not going to hurt anyone, and it's cheap. So we'll let it soak in, have a cup of tea, I'm also going to get a ratchet strap to be ready to hold this. And a cloth, so I think we'll give the calipers a bit of a clean. The other thing I'm going to do is just do the same thing with the bolts, those side things that aren't steps or body protectors, because they want those off. So yeah, but other than that, I mean, it looks in great nick, doesn't it? For 165,000 miles. These do have their problems, but they're really good cars. It's the reason Jeremy Clarkson has one, obviously, and Harry Metcalf, and my dad. So yeah, you don't want to watch that. I'll catch you on the action. You set the shot up. Why don't GoPros come with bloody screens on the front? I don't know. I don't know. I don't ever wonder what Vice Grip Garage is up to. Please don't spin. Those of you that have ever done these before know exactly what I'm talking about. Victory! So what's happening there? The end of the tie rod, drop links, whatever. It's basically a ball joint, like a track rod end. And if you've got a bit too much resistance, because of nicely knackered. So what I was trying to explain there very badly was that if you're undoing a ball joint, and as you try and undo the nut, the entire ball joint spins. If you push the boot back slightly, you'll see two flats, and that's where you can wedge a spanner in to hold it still. Let's just see if we can loosen these off. Remember, turn the nut, not the bolt, at least to start with anyway. Sorry, it's quite hard doing two things at once. Now, we've applied a bit of force. We've put upright on the jack rather than floating, and we've applied lots of heat. Being very careful not to get anything that doesn't want to get hot too hot. And starting to win. The problem I've got is I don't want to apply too much heat because of the damper. So I'm trying to apply it to the bolt instead. Hardest bit of the flame is the tip of the blue bit. Then oil again. And what that does is, as that rapidly cools it, you get a capillary action where it draws the penetrating oil into it, into the threads. There's not too much heat in the damper either. Ooh. Yeah, it's still needs to be done. annoyingly, if it was threaded all the way down, this would probably that would probably slowly draw it out, but I assume these are shouldered for strength. Right. That feels rather hopeful. Did you see the difference there? About the amount of force I had to put into that versus prior? I hope so. I hope you were paying attention. No, I'm not killing GoPro batteries for nothing. So again, we're just going to do the bolt up until we're flush with the ends. Yes! 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 Annoyingly, that even looks like it was greased. Maybe not. But what you can see is it is wet, sort of moist there, and that was inside the bolt, and that's that capillary action working. Now, of course, all that heat's travelled down. The other one's going to pop straight out, right? That's how it works? Yeah. You know, it'd be nothing if not optimistic. So, same action. I won't bore you with filming it as much, but basically heat up the threads so the heat goes into the bolt. The reason I got the nut off for that, by the way, is that you can see there's actually a gap, so it makes it even easier to draw the oil in. Heat it up, spray it, just keep repeating that until you can turn it nice and easily, and then out it will come. Easy as that, right? If you had to apply a huge amount of localised heat, the induction guns are the best by far, and I will add that to my repertoire at some point. The other thing you can do to apply a large amount of heat is weld the head of it, so on something like that you've got a nice big target. A pigeon just landed above my bike. You can weld onto the head of the bolt. Oh, but you'll ruin the bolt. You won't ruin the bolt. Just grind it back again, which is why I'm saying don't do it on that end of it. And that again will apply a huge amount of localised heat, and that can work. But the level of faffing sort of goes up, doesn't it? And yeah. So, right, hopefully next thing you'll see is maybe that on the floor, and I've broken something, I don't know. Pigeon! So it's just a 12mm nut. Obviously, you know, 12s are really popular, everyone uses a 12. Just goes onto there. Oh. That was knackering. Right. How does this work? Do we look the same first? I would say so. Do that and do that. And then new top mount with these. And there should be a little one-way clip on the bottom. Need a big Allen key. Right. There we go, yeah. And just a little one-way clip on the bottom, which you shouldn't have to worry too much about. I think there's a new one in here. Well, either way, I certainly hope there's a new one in here. Oh, so we'll get these buggers apart. I need to get some tools and stuff, so I'll probably stop and restart anyway. Don't forget the other bit, just put something around that. You don't want this to fall forward, you'll end up either stressing out your CV joints or pull them out or something annoying. Oh. Right. There we are. So we're just going to tease off the little lock washer thing. There we go. Oh, it's a lot heavier this than it looks. This wasn't loose, I'm cheating. I already undid it. There we go. Okay, put that in there. That in there. Now we need to undo that. You can stay there. German! Obviously I've left all the sockets on the other side of the ramp, but I don't want to really go and get those. $24. There's no spring pressure because the spring's dead. There you go. You can notice that I still recoiled at that. And then there we go. And I'll give you some advice. It doesn't get any lighter than that. They do suggest to use a soft face mallet, but then, oh, it's not like we're reusing it, is it? Oh. I mean, we're definitely not reusing it now, are we? Oh, right. Okay, that's that thing. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Woo! There's a bump stop in there as well. There we go. So there's the air spring. You can see the bump stop in there. It's like a rubber isolator that sits down there. We have a new one of those. And then what we'll do quickly is, yeah, it's just water. I mean, it's not leaking. It's not leaking, it does return, so I mean, if I'd looked, to be fair, and seen they were all original, I might have suggested to Dad we stump up for shocks rather than just bags, but in fairness, it does seem okay. It's not leaking, it returns, everything. Whilst there are guides and videos, always take off the bits and bobs and keep them in the same order. Okay, so, right, I want nice clean, there we go. There we go, that goes on there. Right, now, see in there, no bump stop. Which way around did that? Right. big bit at the bottom. I suppose the first thing we want to take these dirty gloves off. So this is the way I do it anyway. So spring, we've got funny crinkle thingy, O-ring spacer, O-ring, spacer, O-ring, spacer. There you go, we've matched old to new. And apart from the colours, diameters all look good. So these then go down here. Yeah, so we are going to want a little bit, I think, of lubricant on there. Let's pop some gloves on. I was watching Tasty Classic Spitfire videos earlier. Oh my god, if you've watched it, have you seen the colour he's painted that Spitfire in? Oh, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. What have we got so far as lubricant? Motorcycle protectorant. Anyone else feel the WD-40 coming out again? I had some silicone spray at some point. Paint? I don't think paint's really going to cut it, is it? We just use... let's just use a little bit of grease on there. Okay, so we've got spacer, O-ring, spacer. So spacers that are tight. The O-rings obviously stretch. I assume they're Teflon maybe. Spacer, crinkly thing goes there. I'm just going to put a nice bit, just a light coating of grease on those. Bump stop, which went that way round, he says. Checking the old bag again. Yeah. Tell how confident I am, can't you? Very obviously, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm on YouTube now. That goes in there. Fun bit. Hello. So we are about to go back together. We've extended our spring all the way. We've fitted O-rings, funny little thingy, bump stop, cup washer with the cup facing down according to our knot. I can't find any information for this, so I'm assuming our knot are correct. And then little washers and spacers there. So, here we go. Oh, there we go. Right. There we go. Oh. And then the problem I've been having is the strength required to do that is absurd. Oh no, I didn't get it on camera. No. It worked. So just put a little bit of pressure on there, and then there you go. Just basically push a little bit of pressure on there. Once the bottom of the bag is holding on that O-ring, put a little bit of air pressure in the top. That's just a normal, like, US Pro gun. Oh. Thank all that is holy for that. Right. Oh my god. Ugh, mein Gott. Let's do that. I'll see if there's a torque setting for that, but we can now put this little man back on the car. I was talking about crazing before, I just thought I'd show you better. So you see that? All those horrible marks. The others don't have that. So that's why this one was leaking somewhere in there.
It's recording.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that on? Is that running?
Yeah. You've been recording for like 8 seconds.
Oh right, I'll keep this in actually. Right, we're gonna come in, camera lady. So we're all back together. I did a fantastic job of turning that nut into a 24mm from 25mm for 24. So just filed the edges off of that where we were removing it with persuasion tools, like those. Done up to the correct torque, and then all we did other than that was just jack up the anti-roll bar. So get that back up, and the airline up there. Don't forget the airline. It comes with a new nut which has 3 little O-rings in it, so it's best change that. And it comes with a new olive. The olive is a split design, so it's easy. You just basically pull it apart and swap it over. So there we go. Clip all the lines back in so they're safe. Tight, and put the wheels back on. Thank you for watching.